Welcome back
to the Dusty Chronicles.
Bruh.
Wow, that came off like we practiced it. Okay. All right, guys. Without further ado, we're just going to jump straight into it.
Yes.
Let the dustiness begin. This is horrible.
Hopefully it won't be too much dusty for long.
I think we're raising each other to be independent, men and women, instead of being interdependent. Like,
Interdependent.
You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
it's too many. Men are feeling like, well, if I'm constantly hearing from my group of women that I don't need a man, guess what? I'm going to go outside my race to women that, not saying they need a man, but they damn sure ain't telling me that they don't need me.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So we're constantly hearing, I don't need a man. I can do battle by myself, this, that, and the third.
Because
we're going to go.
It's been a defense mechanism for us.
Okay, but how long
That's not okay, though.
how long are
Right.
we gonna have to keep dealing with that rhetoric?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not responsible for that. I'm trying to find me a quality woman, black woman, and I'm tired of hearing like, yo, I don't need a man. All right, cool.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna treat you like that, and I'm gonna move on to somebody else. And I'm not even trying to say I'm gonna date outside my race, but I'm tired of just hearing that rhetoric because
Exactly.
it's not conclusive for a relationship.
There's a lot of black women out there that do not speak that rhetoric that get often overlooked, that are actually wanting to be in a traditional situation. Yeah, like, let's be real. Y'all say, well, y'all want to be professionals and do all this stuff because we literally have to. Because a lot of the times, a lot of men are not, like we're talking about how men are scared to approach women. Literally. So if we're not being approached out here, yeah, a lot of us are going to be single
Going home
for a long
alone.
time.
Right.
So it's like, what am I supposed to do?
Why don't
but
y'all
take care of
approach
myself?
So what they were basically talking about is the whole I don't need no man thing. I've been hearing it a lot. That's why I wanted to do a video on it.
Okay.
So the question for me is, do you think that that's a good idea for women to be going around saying, I don't need no man?
No.
Okay.
So I understand why women are saying that, but I don't think it's smart to say that because look at where it's getting you.
Yep.
Obviously, it's not getting you the results that you want.
Bruh.
Because they'll say, I don't need a man in one breath, but then they say, but I want one. But they can't get one because they're giving off this attitude as, I don't need one. And it's like, I understand what the young lady said, you know, as far as them having to go out there and work and do their career and everything like that. They have to because the guys, I guess earlier in the conversation, it was saying that they don't even necessarily know how to approach women or they don't even want to approach women anymore because of the rejection. And it's just like, something got to give, you know? So it's just like, yeah, okay, I appreciate you, strong, independent woman. Yeah, woo, that's great. But if your goal, if you ultimately want to be able to get a companion, if you want to be able to get a man so that you guys can, you know, have a family and have a relationship and everything like that, then you may not want to go around saying that and making that like your theme song, you know, because that just is, it's not conducive to what it is that you really want. Because at the end of the day, while it's nice that you have your career, when it's all said and done, your career is not keeping you warm at night. It's not helping you be less lonely. You know what I mean? Like it might be okay now, you know, when you're younger, like maybe in your 20s, early 30s, what have you. But once your biological clocks start ticking and you start looking around and you may see other people, you know, having family, having a significant other, having children, you know, and it's just like you see life is progressing and you're coming home to an empty house and you don't have anybody there that you can talk to, you know, about your day or what have you. You don't have children or whatever to watch you grow, you know, grow old or vice versa. You know, you watch your kids until they get to a certain age and they end up watching you. Like,
They call that the wall, y'all. That's, I'm going to just jump on it. I'm going to just jump. That's called the wall, not to be confused with the walls, which is a completely different thing. There is nothing wrong with the walls, but the wall is a real thing. That's what she's talking about.
yes.
The wall. That is what happened when women get to a certain age. If they have not already started their family or they're not married and with someone, is a point at which all of the loneliness hits you, because what happens is your friends, despite the conversation they having with you right now, a lot of them is probably going to be married with somebody or at least have some kids. They going to have things to do. We can't go out clubbing no more because my kids got to get up in the morning so that they can go to their basketball practice. They got a basketball game that afternoon, so we can't club today. And then on Sunday, we could go and hang out with you, but I got to spend quality time with my kids because I'm not working my 3 jobs. Because whether I'm single or with my husband, you know, I got to worry about dealing with these kids. And they got to go to school on Monday. I got to make sure that their clothes ready. And then, you know, I got to make sure that I got all the food in the house so I can make their lunch. And your friends ain't there no more.
Nope.
And you end up by yourself with a really great career. And the difference is men are more apt to take that lifestyle and be content with it than women generally are. And I can tell you right now, men are not the ones who tend to want to be married. You could ask her, who was the one that was like, yeah, so about this marriage thing, man? When do you think that's going to happen? That's not, men don't generally care. I'm going to be honest with you. We generally don't care. Marriage is not, so that's a thing that is a net positive for women in general and for communities as a whole.
Right.
It's one of those things that sort of like when they say it really like ties a man down in marriage, it does, because it starts to make him think outside of himself.
Right.
Because just like a lot of women, men can be very selfish. And if we don't have the woman in the family behind us, we don't have a reason to reinvest. We tend to be more okay with that than women because we're not as empathetic. It just is what it is. We're not as sympathetic as women are. So that a lot of times ends up falling on the women.
Yeah.
And I'll tell y'all this. To men, when a woman says that, I don't need no man, but I want one. I see that you got a job that's paying you 50, 60 grand a year. I see that you have a nice car. I see that you have your apartment and you've had it for the last 5 years and you've never been behind in your bills and you got a savings account and you got your little Michael Kors bag and I see that you're doing well. What is the point of you declaring it to me? You don't see guys who are doing well, and just so that we can get this out of women's heads, women are not yet doing better than men.
You serious?
They're not. You can't have a patriarchy and then having women doing better than men all at the same time. It's not happening. Like, they literally contradict each other.
Yeah.
Women are not doing better than men. The men that you're around are not doing as well as you are. Probably because the men that you would prefer to be around, they're either taken or they don't want you. Damn! But when you come off with that attitude, the men that you do want, that are doing something with themselves and got their stuff together, they automatically go, negative, I'm good. I don't even want to deal with that. Why? Because they think when they get home, they got to deal with, I don't need no man, I want you here. They think they're going to deal with arguments. They feel like they're going to deal with somebody that's going to make it difficult life, somebody who's going to possibly be competing with them. Men don't want competition when they get home. It does nothing for them. Not to mention, you can't win. You're not going to win. Like, a dude is not going to win. What are we going to do? You want us to argue with you? Y'all talk more than men do. What is going to get physical? There's nothing we can do in that situation. There's nothing we can do. Yes, we are physically bigger, but we can't touch you. We can't even let you touch us too much because then we can go to jail because you hurt yourself trying to hurt me.
What?
How backwards is that?
We can't, we literally can't win in arguments with you. So if we look at you and we say it's going to be a lot of arguments and a lot of drama, no. Why? Because we can't win. We have a society that caters to women, and unfortunately, there are a lot of situations that happen where they don't care about the truth. They just want to protect the woman, even if she's the one who started it. So, if you're going into a situation where it ain't no win with a woman who doesn't know who's showing that she doesn't want to work with men, we got to understand, these men who are doing well, when they come to a date, when a man who's doing well comes to a date, he's coming to the date saying, I can provide. I have all of this stuff. If this works out, all of this can be yours. They're not coming to you saying, you need to level up.
Right.
They generally don't care.
Right.
As long as you fulfill the parts of the puzzle that they don't have yet, y'all good.
Yeah.
And I guess for all of those of you who are very successful that are women, you have to take one of the things that the men who are very successful are doing. Because of the personality traits that you've had to develop to get to where you are, it is very possible that you may have to take the same thing that the men that are very successful have to take. Somebody that is willing to let you take the lead in those departments.
Yeah. And it's not going to be the guy that you want.
It's not going to be him. It's not
going to be him.
I'm going to tell you, I'm saying this because this is just we not dealing
You're not dealing with what?
We're not dealing with that. That's one thing that's a universal consensus. Nobody wants a whole bunch of drama. Like a lot of guys who say they want drama in their life are so toxic anyway. Because I've seen guys be like, I love that. I love that toxic stuff, yo. And you be like, yo, your relationship though is
We're
like,
not talking about them.
you don't never be in a good relationship though.
We're trying to help people that actually want to be in a healthy relationship.
Yeah, people who tend to like toxic relationships tend to not be stable. Yeah. So there's that. And I don't mean financially stable. I mean relationship wise.
Right.
So
moral of the story is, you know how when your parents tell you, if you don't have nothing nice to say, just don't say nothing at all.
Bruh, you might want to practice.
Yeah, that part. Just don't say it.
Don't do it. Just don't do it.
Because the wall cometh. Bruh. You can't avoid it. Bruh.